Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. Champions League preview. You know what time it is tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time kickoff, the final game of this group stage, league stage, whatever you want to call it, of the Champions League is going to be really, really big. So before you get into it, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. But before we actually get into the preview of the Monaco game, some breaking news that has just come out as I was about to record in regards to Tajon Buchanan, our maple syrup brother, looks like is on his way to Spain. There were rumors of Torino being interested, of other Serie A clubs being interested, but actually it's turned out to be Villareal that are going to loan him, pay his full salary for the remainder of the season. And it looks to be close to being made official, which is a bit of a surprise. Not a surprise that Tajon is leaving. Initially, they said that he was happy to stay or wanted to stay to kind of fight for his place. I mean, this move, Villareal, I've had a quick look at what type of formation they play. They play four at the back, 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. Essentially, he's going to play once again as he used to make a lot of times for most of his career as a proper winger, not as a wing back. So even though this is just a loan, there might be an option to buy in there. So it's not permanent, but it kind of, to me, shows that this Tajon Buchanan experiment may be over, because if Inter had faith in the Tajon experiment, or Tajon had faith in the 3-5-2 wing-back experiment, he would have pushed, and Inter would have pushed for him to go to a team that plays with wing-back, so he can come back with experience as a wing-back, and we go again next year. But we'll wait on that to be official. But the thing is, Tajon leaving, and now we know Thomas Palacios on the other end, our young Argentinian centre-back, is also close to officializing a move, another 6-month loan move to Monza in Serie A, the team that's bottom of the table, with a manager, Bocchetti, who is a novice of a manager. Again, might be good for him, getting some minutes under his belt, but is he going to get playing time in a dogfight, in a relegation battle? Probably not, but more than he is at Inter for sure, because Buchanan has actually got some minutes. He's not definitely, anywhere near starting material for Inzaghi, but he's been getting minutes, like in the last Lecce game. He came on the last 25, 30 minutes. Palacios, I don't think he's even cracked 30 minutes in total at Inter, so he's not even part of the rotations. But two players leaving, and I've always said to you guys always ask me in my live stream, do you think that we're going to do anything in January? I always say, no, I don't think we're going to do anything in January. But now two players are leaving. Two players, both of their wages are off the books. So the cost saving is there. Palacios' wages is probably almost next to nothing. But Buchanan, I'm sure it's, above $1 million or something like that. So there's definitely room and need. Numerically, we probably do need someone. And I'm just saying, guys, don't shoot the messenger. I mean, actually, the messenger, I've seen actually people talk about it on Twitter already. The replacement of Buchanan, do not be shocked. Do not be shocked if it's Cristiano Biraghi. Calma, calma. I know if you puked, just gather your thoughts again. Biraghi, he is in an exodus from Fiorentina, because they've got, since they signed Gosens, he's unhappy with the situation. He's almost pretty much out of the squad for them, even though he's the club captain in theory. He is, as we know, we've had him, a few years ago on the Conte, but he is a Inter youth product, so he would help us as a left wing back, also left centre back, because he can play those hybrid roles now as well. And he would help us because he's an Inter youth player with the Champions League squad, because he can register him, because he counts as almost as a Inter product. I'm just saying, I don't know if that's going to be him. Candreva, I saw someone mentioning Candreva because he's a free agent. He hasn't found a club the last few months. I know this is not the oak tree model, but at the moment, it's going to be more of just a numerically, you need to get someone in, whether it's a centre back, whether it's a wing back, someone has to come in. And I think something might happen now. Surely something needs to happen, really, just even numerically, just to give Inzaghi that peace of mind, because we've seen the injuries that we're getting. So let's keep an eye out on that situation. Now let's get into the preview for the Monaco game tomorrow. Very, very important day, not just for the Champions League, but monetarily for Oak Tree Marotta and the accountants at Inter, because the game is worth its weight in gold, as the report here, translated by Sempre Inter, says. Nerazzurri, if they win tomorrow, could pocket over 24 million euros, because the Champions League with these more games is worth more than ever. So by winning, as it says here, there would be a 2.1 million result just for the win against Monaco. I think for a draw is probably half that, or is this 750k maybe, if I remember correctly. And then there will be a 2 million bonus for finishing in the top 8, which obviously is what Inter won, and Inter can get this 2 million bonus even without a win. They can get it just by drawing, as we know. All Inter need tomorrow is a draw mathematically, but of course you can't play for a draw. And then if they win, that would mean Inter finish 4th in the table. That would earn another bonus of 9.1 million, and then obviously to play in the round of 16, they get another 11 million bonus. So that is, of course, all going to help Inter in the summer, when there will be movements in and out needed for sure. And of course, Oak Tree are waiting to finally hit break even on the Inter financial statement, which I think, if we do get all these bonuses this year, we will quite easily reach a break even, I believe. In terms of our standings looks, we know we've looked at this a few times now. All the calculations, as we know, as I said, 1 point means Inter on 17 are guaranteed to finish in the top 8. But Monaco need a win. They're on 13, so if they can get up to 16, they can potentially win a place in the final 8. So they will be up for it for sure. Of course, we can also need some favors from other potential teams. If Atalanta beat Barcelona, we could even potentially overtake Barcelona, or if Arsenal draw or lose and we win. So, it's going to be an interesting day. It's going to be a bit of a madness of a day. Let's see how this Champions League format. Now I think we can finally start to judge the Champions League format, because it is come to its conclusion, this league stage. And tomorrow, guys, it's going to be 16 games at the same time. That is absolutely crazy. All kicking off at the same time. No separate kickoff, no 5 p.m. kickoff, all 8 p.m. kickoff. So the table is going to be moving up and down every few minutes. Is going to be crazy, which is probably what UEFA wanted when they came up with this format. Whether they have cooked or not, let's see. Because in the end, does it really matter? I mean, a lot of these big teams right now are, on the precipice of not qualifying, like Real Madrid, or you could say, like Man City at the moment are. But then, like all these other teams, yes, they're not in the top 8, but then they're gonna get the playoff anyway. So yes, there's drama to get into the top 8, but what is it actually going to lead in the end? It is just more games in the end, at the end of the day. But I guess it should be entertaining for us as Inter fans, but also as neutrals. Moving on to tomorrow's preview. Ignore the Inter lineup here. This is just to preview Monaco's lineup, because this is who scored. They don't know. They don't have a clue about predicted lineups. We have 2 previous meetings, but these are from friendlies in the past. Monaco, yeah, they've done well in the Champions League. They're also not doing too badly in Ligue 1. If we have a quick look at how they're doing in Ligue 1, they are. Where are they in the table on Ligue 1? Sorry, guys. I'm doing this on the fly with you guys. The Who Scored website is awful in terms of its layout. Let's have a quick look. So, yeah, third, not doing too bad at all. 5 losses, 32 goals, 22 conceded. So, quite solid defensively. They don't score too much, but they're quite solid defensively. Not in a title race whatsoever, but we know Ligue 1 is what it is. But they are in a UCL spot right now. And yeah, this is the, I don't know if it's how accurate this is, but it should be quite accurate, because they have a few injuries, important injuries. Folarin Balogun, do you remember this guy, guys? This guy, for a few weeks in the summer, Not this summer, the previous summer. He was linked to us, and he has turned out to be a massive flop. And I'm very glad. And at the time, I was also pushing for us not to sign this guy, and I'm glad I was right on him. He's out. This is the key injury. Wilfred Singo or Sango, a guy that if you followed me for a few years, you would know that I've wanted him since his Torino days. But now he's had one of the most surprising developments as a player I've ever seen. This guy was a free-flowing, marauding right wing back at Torino with like weird, crazy skills and really, bozo crazy moments as well. And somehow that player has turned into a solid centre back now for Monaco. So he still plays right back sometimes as well, but a lot of the time, like in the previous game, he played at centre back, and he's become a very solid centre back of that as well, which is an amazing development that I did not see happening, but actually convinces me even more to want to sign him in the future if we can. And there's another. Funnily, they have two right back candidates that I would, if we ever sold Dumfries, I've always said Van der Sen is a guy that I would look at to sign, Brazilian right back. And then we were linked with Akliush in the summer as well. It was some quiet links that came out of the blue that apparently Inter even put a bid in for him, but not many confirmed sources. But he's an interesting, very exciting young attacking midfielder talent that scored an amazing goal last week in an overhead kick. That was really, really nice. Minamino, former Liverpool player, of course. Zakaria, Juventus flop, of course. Breel Mbolo, the Switzerland striker, of course. Zoma's national teammate. He's always dangerous, very physical, very powerful. Yeah, it's a good team. It's a good team, but nothing that scary. Nothing that scares me. A team that we should, in theory, be able to handle tomorrow with this team. This is the predicted lineup for tomorrow, guys. Quick, what jumps to the eye, of course, is Jan Bisek right here in the centre back position. Of course, we are going to keep a lookout for his performance tomorrow. He got 45 minutes in that exact position against Lecce, did pretty well. He's got a few minutes here and there as well, sometimes as a substitute. I know some of you guys have been calling for this for a while. I've also would like to see this. I've said this in the past, although I would rather keep, like, I don't want this to become, if Bisek does well tomorrow, for Marotta and co and Auxilio and co to think of this like Bisek is the long-term centre back, because I think his abilities going forward, his ball playing, his athleticism as well, I think is very well suited to the right centre back, left centre back positions right now, but definitely because De Vrij needs a rest. He's been playing non-stop because of Acerbi's injury. It makes sense for tomorrow to play Bisek there. But it's something to keep an eye out for, guys. Barotta, Auxilio, if they can cook up, especially Oak Tree would be happy if they can save some money there. So keep an eye on that. Let's move on to the midfield. Of course, Christian Aslani returns with Frattesi and Mkhitaryan in there. I mean, yeah, Aslani, at the moment, we know we're not really in a high moment of trust with the boy, but Zielinski played against Lecce in that position. Aslani has played in this position in the midfield UCL rotations. We have seen this rotation in the UCL already. Aslani with Frattesi. It is a little bit concerning because, you're testing out Bisek at the centre back, and you have Aslani and Frattesi in midfield. Like, there's a bit of rotation going on. It is a bit risky, but at the same time, with the Milan, we can't forget Inzaghi has to also think about the Milan derby at the weekend now. Yes, we need the 1 point, if even the win tomorrow, but the Milan derby, we cannot lose that one. We have to win that one. Maybe this is an indication that Zielinski might come in for the Milan derby back to the CDM position, because at the moment, the reports are indicating that Hakan is not ready. And even if he is going to be ready for the Milan derby, I doubt that we're going to start him, after being out for 2 or 3 weeks. That would be quite risky to put him straight in. I know we love Hakan and how important he is, but, you risk aggravating the injury as well, which we don't want to do. So maybe this points to Zielinski resting here and then being ready for the derby di Milano. Frattesi hopefully continues his form from the weekend. and does his job defensively. It's important for Frattesi here that he supports Aslani. I know Mkhitaryan will. We saw the average position against Lecce. Mkhitaryan was basically playing as a second regista right next to Zielinski, supporting him. He might have to do that again tomorrow. Frattesi is also going to need to, step back. And, we have Barella ready to come into the second half. This game, I'm fine with Inzaghi bringing in Barella. A Lecce 3-0 up. I definitely had a problem with that. Dumfries as well. If the result is in Inter's favor, I would like to see Dumfries rested. He has been one of our MVPs, if not our MVP of 2025. We need Denzel in Denzel Washington, man on fire form against Milan, against Dale. So if we can rest his legs a little bit, that would be great. Di Marco has rested recently. But yeah, again, if we can bring on Carlos Augusto in the second half, that could be good as well. Up front, Taremi had a slight injury apparently today. He will be on the bench tomorrow, from what I read. So Marko Arnautovic, you're up. Thuram deserves some rest ahead of the derby. That's good. Yeah, all in all, guys, I know Arnautovic again. We're not, particularly high on him, but we know Inzaghi. He's always gonna give his guys a second chance, third chance, fourth chance, fifth chance. We've seen guys like Correa come back and redeem themselves this season. Frattesi, whatever. Arnautovic had a good cameo appearance a couple of games ago. Let's see what he can do. Hopefully, the Meazza crowd stays with him and doesn't start to boo him too quickly. I think this team can do the job. I think we'll get the job. We get the 1 point that we need over line. It might be a bit shaky. It might be a bit cagey. I think it's going to be one of those where it's going to be like, oh, Inter, come on. But I think in the end, it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Monaco will give us some trouble, but I think in the end, Inter will win. I think Lautaro will get the all-important goal, if not Frattesi. You let me know in the comments down below everything about tomorrow's game, but also, of course, the Buchanan stuff, the Palacio stuff. Who should Inter sign to replace those two outgoings? Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. See you tomorrow. Ciao ragazzi, always, Forza Inter.